So there's three key reasons as to why a customer journey map should really remain as a living and breathing document within the organization. So one is there's behavioral changes in customers. Secondly, there's operational changes when we look at processes. And then thirdly, there's obviously a lot of technology, evolutions and stuff happening in the market today. So those three components really become critical to take into account when we look at the customer journey map. So look at the first component, which is really understanding behavioral changes of the customer. So there's lots of case studies, Deloitte have done one recently to show just how text-based communication, has evolved. So in order to understand how that evolution essentially will impact your business and what that transition looks like, you really have to ensure that your customer journey map, look at the phases, look at the stages, and look at how, with text-based communication, being the new communication platform, how will your organization transition from potentially a call-based traditional call center to a customer communication center that really focuses on enhancing the text-based communication. So how do we address that behavioral changes? And looking at your customer journey will allow you to essentially look back at the stages and the phases of the process, and particularly you may maybe enhance the channels that the customer is looking at, and how do we enhance that experience through that channel. The second component is obviously operational changes. So where we have operational changes, we need to understand that that will have an impact on the customer experience, and also on the agent side, if they're uncertain as to how to service the customer, you're going to have that impact on the customer's experience ultimately. So you need to ensure that when there's operational changes, one, that your agents are fully trained, and two, that whatever we're changing, we need to look at the map that we created and understand exactly where those touch points are. Are we going to create new pain points, and how do we ensure that we're enhancing the customer experience and we have no regression on the experience of the customer? Now, the third dimension is, technology really is evolving, as fast as lightning. And to ensure that you stay on top of that, you need to, adopt newer technologies. So let's say we're introducing, generative AI technologies or, automation technologies. We need to understand where in the journey we're going to inject these new technologies, and then also what the experience of the customer is going to be within that domain. So you really have to start looking at, where can we enhance, where can we, potentially change to ensure that when you create your map as a living document, someone takes ownership of that and make sure that the customer experience ultimately remains top of mind. Telviva offers a managed contact center as a service solution to our customer. And right at the very heart of what we focus on is to enable better quality conversations with your customers. Now, throughout that service component, what we do is we actually walk the road with the customer to help them create their own, customer journey map that they could keep as a living and breathing document within their organization. We understand the processes that we go through. We understand exactly what phases and stages of the journey the customer is in. We walk the journey with the customer to really understand and identify where those pain points are within their organization and create this entire visual representation. Second and third components really that we look at is how do we value proposition this? How do we measure and ensure that the technologies that we're, potentially putting forward will ultimately deliver a great customer experience? So throughout the process of, delivering a managed contact center, as a solution to the customer, we really walk the road with our customers to ensure that we map your processes, we understand your systems and people, dimensions, and where the interoperability needs to take place to ensure that we address key pain points and ultimately add value to the customer.